Right now, under Obamacare, half as many people signed up for health care coverage than what the CBO projected they would. The CBO is not infallible. We believe we have better policies that are going to work better to ensure that everyone has access to affordable and accessible health coverage. Because I'm sitting here in Springfield, Illinois today with Tony and Lisa. They're right behind the camera. They're talking to me about how they can't afford to use the health care coverage they have. They're part of the 31 million people in this country that are covered but can't afford to go get simple tests because they're too costly. That's what's got to change, and that's what I'm trying to do.
So let's talk about, you mentioned those two guests with you, the public sentiment overall, sir. You have this new ABC News Washington Post poll which looks at that specifically on the health care reform. You have 50% of the people saying they prefer Obamacare over the Republican health bill. You've got 24% preferring the Republican bill. Republicans may have run with their campaigns and re-elections on repeal and replace, but do you think there's a point where your party could reevaluate the realities here? Is it possible that since 2009 and the passage of Obamacare, the ACA, that things have changed and people have become accustomed to it, and rather than saying repeal and replace, it could be put forward just to fix what's there?
Well, our bill is exactly that, Alex. It's a fix. In Washington, when we repeal any law, we do something as simple as replace it with other language. So we have repealed and replaced. But in essence, that's all a fix. That happens on every bill that we pass in Washington. Even if it's something as simple as changing a period to a semicolon, that's repealing that period, replacing it with a semicolon, thus fixing the bill. So we have fixed it. But the problem we have, and you mentioned those polling numbers, we have, let's make sure that your viewers understand that 93% of all Americans get their health care coverage through their employer or through Medicaid. So we're talking about 31 million people that can't afford to use the coverage they have, mainly going into 7% of all Americans. That's what we have to look at fixing. And those are the types of issues that we need to address. And if we don't, and many Democrats, Alex, have said they want to help fix this system, but have done nothing to help us do that. And in my opinion, they're abdicating their responsibility as policymakers and elected officials by sitting on their hands.
I will say, I've been doing this for a while, and I heard similar echoes that the Republicans were doing to the Democrats during the years of the Obama administration. Is that anything that you want to address, or do you say, look, that's politics?
Well, you know, Alex, I wasn't here when Obamacare was passed, and I can tell you in the last 4 years, I've got a record of working in a bipartisan way on a wide variety of issues, be it infrastructure issues, be it healthcare issues. Look, I actually passed a bill called the Hire More Heroes Act that incentivized small businesses to hire more of our veterans, and that was an idea that came from a veteran, and it was a fix to Obamacare. It passed unanimously in the House and was signed into law after going through the Senate. So I've got a history of actually living up to that rhetoric that I just talked about of working together. And I would hope that those Democrats who were here that gave us the Affordable Care Act, that gave us the 60 million people that don't have insurance or can't afford to use the coverage they have, I would hope that they wouldn't just use, well, Republicans did it, so that's their excuse. So let's change things. Let's work together. That's my goal, and that's my message today.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.